The wind came first. It howled across the open land, carrying the smell of salt and wet earth. It whispered through the tall grasses and pressed its cold fingers against bare skin. The land that would one day be called Britain was not an island yet. It was a vast, raw frontier connected to the great continent, a place of shifting rivers, frozen winters, and dangerous beauty. On that cold morning, a small group of humans walked slowly across the damp mud near the edge of the sea. They did not know they were making history. They were simply trying to survive. The land before names. There were no words for Britain, no maps, no borders. The land stretched endlessly, broken by forests of pine and birch, winding rivers and wide marshes where animals gathered. The sea was closer than before, restless and unpredictable, breathing in and out like a living creature. The sky was pale, heavy with clouds. Winter had recently loosened its grip, but the cold still lingered in the soil. Each step pressed into the soft mud, filling slowly with water. One of the humans, a young woman, paused and looked back. Behind her, small footprints followed the larger ones. Children. She tightened the grip on the stone tool in her hand. The people of the cold. They were not modern humans. They were early humans, ancestors of us all, strong, broad-bodied, built for survival. Their faces were heavy-boned, their brows thick, their eyes sharp and alert. Fire was a precious companion, stone tools were life itself, and the world was both a giver and a fief. The group was small. A leader, old, scarred, and watchful. 2 women, one young, one older. 3 children, silent, observant, learning by watching. 1 man, wounded but determined. They moved together, always together, because alone meant death. Why they walked. They did not wander without purpose. The rivers had frozen earlier than expected that year. The herds had moved. Hunger followed them like a shadow. The land behind them had grown quiet, too quiet, dangerous quiet. So they walked northward, toward the open marshlands where animals gathered during the changing seasons. The old leader remembered this place. He had been here before, many winters ago when he was young and strong. Memory was their map. The child who looked back. One of the children, a boy no more than 6 winters old, kept turning his head as they walked. He liked watching how the mud swallowed his feet and then released them. He liked the sound it made. Squish, pull, step. The young woman hissed softly, warning him to be quiet. Predators listened. Still, the boy smiled. His footprints were small, round, fragile. They would outlive him. The edge of the water. They reached the shoreline as the tide pulled away, exposing wet sand and dark mud. The sea retreated, leaving behind pools of water that reflected the gray sky. The leader raised his hand. They stopped. This place was dangerous, but rich. Animals came here. Birds nested nearby. Fish sometimes became trapped in shallow pools. Life gathered where water met land. But so did death. The sound of fear. A distant roar cut through the wind, not the sea. The group froze. The wounded man shifted his weight, pain flashing across his face. The older woman grabbed one of the children and pulled her close. The leader listened carefully. It was far, but not far enough. A predator. Perhaps a giant cat. Perhaps a bear. They could not stay long. Walking faster. They moved again, faster now, feet pressing deeper into the mud. Each step left a clear impression. Heels, toes, arches. The young woman felt the cold seep into her bones. She focused on the rhythm of walking, on keeping the children close, on the weight of survival pressing down on her chest. She did not know this place would disappear. She did not know the sea would one day erase everything. A moment of rest. They reached a slightly higher patch of ground where the mud was firmer. The leader allowed them a brief rest. The children crouched, drawing lines in the mud with sticks. The older woman scanned the horizon. The wounded man leaned heavily on his spear. The young woman looked at the sea. It frightened her. It felt alive. The unseen witness. They did not know the mud beneath their feet was special. They did not know it would harden, layer by layer, buried under time. They did not know ice, sand, and sediment would protect their steps like a secret. They did not know the world would forget them, but the earth remembered. Leaving without goodbye. The leaders stood again. It was time. They walked onward, away from the water, toward the land where trees grew thicker and shelter waited. One by one, they left the shoreline. Their footprints remained, perfect, silent, waiting. Time begins to move. The tide returned. Water filled the footprints, smoothing their edges but not destroying them. Sand covered them gently, like a blanket. Seasons passed, winters came and went. Ice advanced, ice retreated. Animals changed, humans changed. The land itself changed. The people who made those footprints disappeared into time, whether by hunger, cold, or predators, no one knows. But their steps stayed. A world transformed. Hundreds of thousands of years passed. Forests rose and fell. Rivers carved new paths. The land bridge to Europe vanished beneath rising seas. Britain became an island. New humans arrived. New languages were born. Still, beneath layers of earth, the footprints slept. The storm that woke the past. One winter, a powerful storm struck the coast of what humans now called Happisburgh. Waves tore at the cliffs, sand collapsed. The sea, violent and curious, pulled the past into the light. And there, on the wet sand, something appeared. Footprints. Human footprints. Impossible. Modern eyes, ancient steps. Scientists knelt where the early humans once walked. They stared in disbelief at the shapes pressed into the sand. Heels, toes, arches. Children, adults, a family, nearly 800,000 years old. The oldest human footprints ever found outside Africa. The first known humans in Britain. A silent conversation through time. The footprints did not speak, but they told a story of cold mornings and hungry journeys, of families moving together, of children who played even when danger was near, of humans who dared to live at the edge of the world. The sea takes them back. Within days, the footprints erased, as it always does. But this time, humans were watching. They photographed them, measured them, remembered them. The story was no longer lost. What the footprints mean? Those footprints remind us of something simple and powerful. We have always walked forward. We have always faced fear. We have always carried our children into the unknown. Civilization did not begin with cities. It began with footsteps. The last image. Imagine them once more. A small group moving through cold mud. A child laughing softly. A woman looking back. A leader scanning the horizon. They do not know their names will be forgotten. They do not know their steps will change history. They simply walk. And that is enough.